Like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Mr.Mind.Average.
Used to face it. The majority faces it in a cowardly way by escaping from it, by forgetting it, by not looking at it. The very few spirits who are rebellious, courageous, and want to know their own essential being, the meaning and significance of their life, and don't want to be here accidental, but want to be a significant, creative participant in existence. They have to go through the agony of exposure. They cannot escape. Why it has become such an agony, such a suffering, to expose oneself as one is? Because you have been told again and again that you are unworthy, that you are not acceptable, that you are not of any worth at all as you are. You will have to attain to respectability following certain rules and regulations made by others. If you want some kind of dignity, you have to become a puppet in the hands of others, because they decide what you should be, how you should act, and how not. From the very first moment a child is born, this ugly education starts. I was present in one of my friends' first childbirth. The woman has been a long acquaintance. She has studied with me, she has become a teacher with me, and this was going to be her first child. Even though the husband was against that, why another person should be present there, she insisted. I had no idea that there has been a quarrel and fight Finally, the doctors interfered and they said that there is no harm. If her feeling is that she has found a man of grace and she would like her child to be seen by the same man whom she has respected, on the surface, everything looks beautiful. But as you go deeper into analysis, things start changing their colors. The mother is even deciding what the child should see first. Who is going to be his first human encounter? The mother is deciding that. And from such decisions start our whole education. Naturally, a strange calamity falls over whole humanity. Nobody seems to be the right person. Everybody seems to be in the wrong place. Somebody else may be in the right place, but you are never in the right place. And the person you think is in the right place is not in the right place either. He is thinking somebody else is in the right place. This whole madness is the ultimate result of a wrong educational system, which does not accept you as you are in your naturalness, in your simplicity. You may not be a great leader. In fact, there is no need of great leaders. What they have done except made history to torture small children. They have to remember their names, do the homework. What all your great men have done. And what are these great men? Mostly criminals. Either they themselves committed the crimes, people like Genghis Khan and Nadir Shah and Timur Lane, just these three people killed near about 120 million people. And you don't call them criminals. They are great leaders, great conquerors, and there are others who have not committed crimes themselves, but have created the very source from which crimes arise. I have heard an ancient story. God has made the world the sixth day. Everything was complete. Just one thing was missing, a moral code. So he went around asking the Babylonians, the Egyptians, the people who lived on the drowned continent of Atlantis, and he asked them, do you want a commandment? And everybody asked, what is that commandment? Someone he said that thou shalt not commit adultery. The Egyptians said, then what shall we do? The whole life will lose interest. We don't want any such commandment. And he was getting tired when he found Moses. Do you want a commandment? And just like a fundamentalist Jew, he said, how much? God said, free. He said, then I will have 10. Those 10 commandments are torturing Jews, Mohammedans, Christians. Although these people are not criminals, Moses or Jesus, but they are sources of certain criminality. For example, all the religious leaders of the world have made celibacy one of the most moral acts, and it is one of the most immoral acts because it is unnatural. That which is unnatural cannot be moral. I was in Greece. Amrito is here, my sannyasin. She told me that the Greek Orthodox Church very fanatically believes in virginity. I said that means all the girls that are not married must be virgin in Greece. She laughed. She herself has been a beautiful girl, has been chosen as a beauty queen in Greece, has been working as a model. He said, don't ask that. If you want to know, you cannot find a single virgin. This is simply a principle. And nobody ever inquires how many virgins are there. Now, to make virgin a moral precept, unknowingly you are creating criminals, guilty people, psychopaths, perverted people. In the Middle Ages in Europe, it was absolutely necessary that you marry a virgin girl. But sometimes a girl may be a virgin, still the certificate that makes her a virgin may have been lost. It is a very small certificate. Just riding on a horse and you can lose your virginity. Riding even on a bicycle, you can lose your virginity because it is a small, thin skin that prevents the girl's eggs from man's sperm. It is such a small, thin layer of skin, it can be broken in any accident. You fall from a tree and you lose your virginity. That's why I was always wondering, nobody allows girls to climb the trees. Finally, I found out myself that the real reason is nobody talks about, perhaps nobody knows about, that climbing on a tree is very dangerous for virginity. And once lost, it is lost forever. In Europe, in the Middle Ages, there were doctors who were selling virginity. They prepared thin pieces of skin and planted them in the right place. And it was a great profession because almost every girl is going to lose it. It is not simple to protect it. Swimming in a pool, you may lose it. Now this made the girl unnecessarily feel immoral, unworthy, afraid that sooner or later she is going to be found and how she can prove that she was swimming. She has not done anything and the virginity is gone. It created guilt and it created criminals, those doctors who provided virginity with a certain fee were the criminals. They were exploiting an absolutely innocent woman. You will not believe it, but not only the virginity has to be there. After the first night, the young husband has to sow the bed seed to his family and to his friends with blood on it. It is not necessary, even if the girl is a virgin and has not lost her virginity, making love to her is not necessary that it will bring blood. So she has to supply even blood too. Those doctors planting virginity also gave a small tube of blood. So just spill over the bed. And this was a show, exhibition. The neighborhood will see, yes, that girl is virgin. What is your business in it? In what way you are concerned in it? But because certain idiots have made virginity a moral concept, many more things are bound to develop by the side. And similarly, celibacy has created even more crime. It has created all kinds of perversions, homosexuality, sodomy, and the reason is not in the homosexuals, the reason is in your religions. They are preaching something which is unnatural. And I challenge all the religions of the world, all their Shankaracharyas and their imams and their popes and their rabbis, to come to a medical college and prove that they are celibate. Only a medical examination can give you a certificate whether you are celibate or not. You cannot be a celibate. It is such a stupid thing, as if some religion arises and makes it a point that to urinate is against God. It looks against God. It is not a very nice thing to do. But if some religion arises and says it is against God, there will immediately people who will say we will never urinate. And we see these people are drinking water, then where that water is going? We don't need to worry about their urination, where their water is going. Once you have drunk water, it has to find out a way out of your organism. You cannot go on accumulating it. You will become a reservoir. And it will be a very strange, funny situation. Reservoirs all around, carrying so much load, and anybody with a sense of humor can put a knife and the whole city is flooded. People are swimming. You eat food, you drink water, you breathe air, you do everything just as any other animal does. Whether you are celibate or not, you do the same things. Just on the question of celibacy, you cannot be separate. You don't even know what is happening inside you, how your sexual energy is created. It is created by your air, oxygen, by your food, by your milk. Strangely, it happened that I was staying in a rest house with a Sankaracharya. And I told him that celibacy is absolutely unnatural idea. Only an impotent person can be celibate. If you are potent, then you cannot be celibate. You tell me what you are, potent or impotent. He said, I am celibate. I said, then I will take you to the medical hospital this very moment. He said, you seem to be a strange man. It is a question of ideology. From where comes the medical college in it? I said, it is not a question of ideology. Do you know how your sexual energy is created? Do you have any scripture in which is it described? Do you have any control over it? Not to be created, prevented. You don't have any control. Just as you don't have any control on your blood, you don't have any control on your hair. Your organism has not left anything essential in the hands of your mind. And celibacy is part of your organism, the most important part. Biology cannot leave it in your hands. He said, I don't want to be in unnecessary trouble. I said, trouble or not, I can bring a doctor here. He said, but I don't want to argue even. I said, argue, you are arguing because you are saying you are celibate. And not a single religious person, monks, thousands of monks are there. Catholic, Hindu, Buddhist, Jaina. Not a single monk has been to the people who can check whether he is celibate or not. But these ideals of celibacy have been created by very good people. They have not committed any crime. Mahavira or Gautam Buddha, they have not committed any crime. But they have created something which goes on creating immense crime. According to me, they have to take the responsibility for it. With absolute respect and humbleness, I want to say that all your religious leaders are responsible for your perversions, your pathologies, your mind going berserk, and they are the people who have condemned you. They won't allow you to accept yourself. That's why you are afraid to expose. Nobody should know that you urinate. Hide it. You are hiding yourself because everything in you has been condemned. I have been looking, is there anything in man which has not been condemned by one or other religion? I have not found a single thing. Everything is condemned. As long as my grandmother was alive, poor tomatoes were not allowed in the house because Jainas believe in eating only vegetables. They are vegetarians. Tomato is also a vegetarian, but it looks like a meat eater. The color looks of the non-vegetarian. I had not eaten in the night up to the age 18, because in the night it was a sin to eat. It was a crime. When for the first time I went to a picnic with my school friends to a nearby beautiful old castle, they were all Hindus. So for them, food was not a question. And they were so much interested in exploring the whole castle, and it has so many beautiful points to explore. And I was feeling hungry and tired, but I could not say anything. Finally, in the night, they all prepared food. Now a great question was before me, to commit the sin or not. My whole traditional education of the family was not to commit the sin. Just one night's hunger is not going to kill you. It takes 30 days, even for the sickliest person, to die if he remains hungry. To the healthy, it takes 90 days. Just by starvation. So just one night and you are losing your paradise and all the beauties of paradise and falling into the hellfire. It was not a simple question of eating or not eating. It was a great metaphysical question. My whole existence was in turmoil. And I told the boys that I am feeling hungry, but it is against my understanding. I cannot eat. I have to suffer the whole night. They said, "Are you mad? We will not say to anybody. Your family will never know. Nobody will ever know." I said, "That is not the question. Their knowing is not the question. I will know. And I will feel always guilty that I have committed a sin. And then I cannot expose myself. I cannot be read as a book, open, no secret." But the hunger was there the whole day on the mountain, was tiring, and the food they had prepared was so inviting. And they were all persuading me that whole night you will not be able to sleep. I said, "That I know. Either case, I am not going to sleep whole night." They said, "Why either case? Eat well and sleep." We eat every night and we sleep. And they were right. Their experience was that. Finally, I got persuaded by my hunger, by their arguments. And I had not eaten much, just a small food I took to be safe. I am not committing a very great sin. Even God will forgive a boy of 18 years committing a small sin. But that small sin could not allow me the whole night to sleep. I had to vomit continuously. By the morning, when I had thrown everything out, I could go to sleep just for 2-3 hours. Those boys could not understand that what kind of man you are. We all slept. We were so tired that we could not even dream. One needs some energy to dream too. And we were so utterly tired and so well fed that we slept. And what you were doing? They could not understand, but I could understand that my psychology has been polluted, that my mind has been corrupted by those whom I love. And this corruption goes back to Mahavira. My whole night suffering on that mountain, Mahavira is responsible for it. He created the idea that eating in the night is sin. And perhaps in his situations it was right, because there was no light, no electricity, no kerosene oil. So in the night to eat was not only irreligious, it was unhygienic too. And you can understand, with so many mosquitoes and all kinds of animals, to eat in the night, in the dark, is dangerous. Anything can fall into your food. But Mahavir was not aware that a situation is going to come when man will be able to create more light than there is in the day. And now there is no need to be worried. But habits die hard, and habits which have been followed for thousands of years. I used to stay in the house of one of the richest men of Calcutta, Sohanlal Dugar. He was a rare man, and just because of his rarity, he fell in love with me. I was speaking in Jaipur. Jaipur was his home. But his business was in Calcutta. So most of the time he used to live in Calcutta and few days in his home in Jaipur. I was speaking in Jaipur, and as I finished, an old man with a great turban, and I could not think that this man is one of the richest men in the world. He gave me a bundle of 100 rupees notes. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I want to offer this to you." But I said, "I don't need. If sometimes I need, just give me your address." He said, "Address I will give to you on the condition you accept this money." I said, "But money I have never accepted from anybody." And when I was saying this, tears started coming to the eyes of the old man. I said, "Why are you crying? You should be happy. This much money is saved." I should be crying. Why you are crying? He said, "Listen, I am a rich man as far as money is concerned, but I am a very poor man as far as the heart is concerned. I don't know how to love except by giving. And if you reject my money, you are rejecting me and my heart. And I will never forgive you. He said, you can take it and burn it. That is not my concern. But don't reject. And that's exactly I did. I took it from his hands. It must be 10,000 rupees, and burnt it just then and there. And he was very happy. He said, you have followed your principle, I have followed my principle. We both are happy. But remember, now whenever you come to Calcutta, you have to be my guest. So since then, almost for 10 years, I used to be his guest almost 3-4 times a year. His whole house was centrally air conditioned. But he will sit with me on the dining table with a small hand bamboo fan, and I will be eating and he will be moving the bamboo fan. And I told him that, what are you doing? You know perfectly well the house is absolutely air conditioned. There is not even a single mosquito. It is so clean. There is no need. He said, but it is traditional for the host to sit and fan when the guest is eating. I said, it may be traditional, but it should not be stupid. In this condition, it is becoming stupid. He said, you don't understand. This air conditioning, this house, everything can collapse. Because I am a gambler. Today I am the richest man, tomorrow I can be the beggar. It has happened many times, up and down. But this bamboo fan will always be with me. I cannot depend on something which I can lose. I can depend on it. I said, you are giving a beautiful argument, but deep down you know and I know that it is just old habit in the whole Rajasthan. Everywhere the habit. That night I became aware that you can corrupt the mind in any way. In fact, any kind of ideas given to the mind are corrupting. You are telling to the person that this is right and this is wrong. This is not love and this is not education. According to me, you have to tell to your children that be alert, be aware, to be alert, to be aware, to be more conscious of the consequences, of the implications, is the only morality. We don't give you particulars, what is right and what is wrong, because situations change. What is right in one situation may be wrong in another situation. We give you only awareness. So you can find with the light of awareness what is wrong in a situation and what is right. But you should remain the center of your decision. The decision should not come from outside. If the decision comes from outside, that has created the problem. Everybody is afraid of exposing. What people will say. And everybody is trying to pose according to people's idea. What they want, what they like. If you want their respect, you have to be a puppet. But then you cannot be real and authentic. You will be a hypocrite. And the hypocrite is certainly afraid of exposed. If somebody takes away the curtain that you were putting all over your reality, you are going to be afraid. This is the situation you are not only in this situation, every human being is in this situation. Because up to now, the right human atmosphere has not been created on this planet. One of my friends was the oldest member of parliament. For 60 years continuously he was the member of the parliament without any discontinuity. His name was Dr. Govindas. He was the only man who was second to Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was 2 years ahead. I used to stay with him in New Delhi. He was a fanatic about cows. The Hindu fanatic mind. And you cannot believe that a man of intelligence, a man who has a doctorate, a man who has been for 60 years member of the parliament, was so much fanatic that he will only drink the milk of a white cow. I said, this is strange. Up to cow I can understand, but white cow? He said, black is a symbol of evil and bad things. I said, symbol is one thing, but just a patch on the cow of black, will not make the milk black. He said, you don't disturb my mind. I have followed my idea whole life. He used to go with his cow anywhere he will go, because who knows, somewhere you may not find a purely white cow. Some dots finished. Religion is finished. And Hindus think that cow milk is the purest food. And the reality is that the more milk you drink, the more milk you use, the less is the possibility of your being celibate. And nobody even points at the fact that the milk of the cow is not produced by nature for man. It is produced for bulls. And certainly it has thousandfold more sexuality in it than a woman's milk. And you should see that no animal in the whole existence goes on drinking milk whole life. Just when the animal is small and cannot digest solid food, few weeks, it depends on the mother, and then it is free. It is strange that man is the only person on the whole planet who goes on drinking milk even when he can digest solid food. And this is thought in India, if somebody lives only on milk, he becomes a saint. To me, he becomes a bull. He is dangerous. He should be kept in chains, but people worship him. But perhaps worship are, in a very psychological way, chains. When you worship somebody, when so many people give you so much respect because you just drink milk, a great creative act, the crowd and its respect becomes a chain. But still this man will have to find some perversion to his sexuality. So every day newspapers are full. Some great saint has been found misusing sexually small children. Somewhere a bishop is found. In America, the man who was most against me in Portland was the bishop of Portland, and who was continuously in every sermon was saying that my presence in America will corrupt people. And just 3 days before, he has been caught, and he has confessed before the court that he has been using small boys and girls in the name of teaching them Holy Bible sexually. These are the people. Now I have been looking at things because the question has become very much prominent. Even the third person below the Archbishop of England, only one step more and he can become the Archbishop. He is saying that celibacy does not include homosexuality. You can be celibate and you can be homosexual. They are not in any way contradicting each other. Celibacy is only against heterosexuality. A man should not contact the woman and the woman should not contact the man. But it has no implications, and in a way he is right, because in no Christian books, scriptures, nobody has ever thought that homosexuality, and then there are other kinds of sexuality. Sodomy is there, far away places, in deserts, in mountains, when you cannot have a woman or a man, people start making love to animals. That is sodomy. Certainly, celibacy cannot include sodomy. Sodomy is such a saintly word. And these people are coming with these ideas now because they have to prove that they are really celibate. Monasteries are full of homosexuals. One monastery in Athens, 1,000 people are there in the monastery. And they have divided the monastery in two because 500 are homosexuals. Not a small number. Half of the monastery is homosexual. And who knows about the other half, what they are doing. These people are made unnecessarily criminal, unnecessarily unnatural, guilty, condemned. Then everybody starts having a mask. Don't show your face. Just show the face people want to see. And that's how everybody is functioning. But there are moments when one would like to drop the face, the mask. And in these moments the problem arises. You are asking, when you look at me in discourse, whether or not you actually see, I feel your love pouring out of you and penetrating to my heart. At first it feels a little scary, because I feel very exposed. And then I love the feeling inside my heart. Love is one of the things that forces you to expose. You cannot cheat love. That is sacrilegious. That is the only authentic spirituality, not to cheat love. If you can cheat love, then there is no hope for you. Because love is the opportunity to expose yourself, and whatever garbage the society has poured on you, throw it away and be utterly nude in yourself, in total acceptability, respect and dignity. Love loves you, not your clothes. Love loves you, not your masks. And love certainly creates a great question whether to choose the mask or to choose love. The mask is a miserable life. It has not given any joy to you. It has led you more and more towards the false. Love is the beginning of a new journey towards blissfulness. Don't miss that moment. When love calls, say yes. And when love calls, move. Move beyond your so-called personality. So your problem is simple. First, you will feel scary, afraid. You have been hiding behind this mask so long. You yourself have started believing in it. You have forgotten your own face. It has been so long. It happens. In the Second World War, for the first time, ration cards were issued. One great American scientist edition had to go, everybody has to go personally to register his name, family members, dependents, and get the ration card. He has never been in such a thing. He was not a social being. Otherwise, he would not have been able to give to humanity 1,000 inventions. A single man, nobody else has done that much. Everything that you use, you don't know. It is Thomas Alva Edison behind it. Electricity, radio, anything that you are using, your whole life is filled with the contribution, but That means he was hidden in his lab the whole day. This was for the first time that he was standing outside in a line, in a queue, under the sky. And when his number came, as the queue became smaller and smaller, and the clerk was facing him, and the clerk said, Thomas Alva Edison, he looked here and there, and perhaps he is searching for somebody called Thomas Alva Edison. The clerk was also at a loss. Certainly this man cannot be Thomas Alva Edison, who is standing in front. He is supposed to be, because that is the queue. He shouted, Thomas Alva Edison, your number has come. No reply. The whole queue stood silent. One man looked at Thomas Alva Edison and said, I think the first man who is standing is Thomas Alva Edison, because he lives just nearby my house. The clerk says, you seems to be a very strange man. He said, strange? In fact, for 60 years, nobody has used my name. And do you think for 60 years you can remember? My colleagues call me professor. My students call me professor. And there is nobody who ever calls me Thomas Alva Edison. It seems this gentleman may be right, because far away, 60 years back, I can see a small murmur that, yes, Thomas Alva Edison, I have heard this name before. There is a limit. You can forget. Your own falseness can become your reality. So when love strikes you like lightning, it exposes for a moment your reality, and then the fear that should I throw away all the falseness and be myself and risk whether I am respected or disrespected, condemned, blamed, whatever happens, without thinking of these consequences, should I expose myself? When love strikes you, it fills you with fear, and also underneath with a joy, with a feeling of love, because a moment has come into your life when you can change from the false to the real. As far as your beginning part of the question, it is a little difficult for me to say. You are asking, when you look at me in discourse, whether or not you actually see me. I feel your love pouring out of you. when I am looking at you, I am simply looking. I am not seeing you. And particularly when I am speaking and I look at you, it is not possible for me because I am no more there. Just a great emptiness responding to your heart, responding to your being. Yes, love is there, showering on you. It has nothing to do with seeing you or not seeing you. Even when I am exactly seeing you, it is utter emptiness if you look into my eyes. And only out of that utter emptiness love flows. And then it flows without any address. Then it simply flows for whomsoever is ready, receptive. It is available. It comes close to you. You can be filled with it, or you can remain standing on the river bank, thirsty. An Indian mystic Kabir used to sing a song. The title of the song is "The Fish is Thirsty in the Ocean." That describes you. But there is no need. It is an unnecessary misery imposed upon yourself. Drop it. A little priest, a minister, and a rabbi get together and talk about the issue of when life begins. The priest opens by saying, I think that life begins at the precise moment the sperm fertilizes the egg. The minister says, well, I think life begins at the moment the baby draws its first breath. Then they both look at the rabbi, who says, well, I think life begins when the dog has died and the children have moved out of the house. It all depends on you when life begins. It can begin right now. The dog need not die. Children need not move. And what kind of life that will be when the dog has died and the children have moved? I have heard about a court case of divorce. a man of 90 and a woman of 85 wanted to divorce, the magistrate said, "But how long you have been married?" They said, "Near about 60 years. The magistrate said, "If you managed for 60 years, then suddenly what great crisis has come in your life that you want to divorce?" The man said, "There is no question of crisis. We were waiting for all our children to die. Now we are free. No burden, no responsibility. So please help us to go on our way." Up to now, whenever we raised the question of divorce, everybody said, "Think of the children." So for 60 years we have been thinking about the children. And those idiots went on living, went on living, went on living. Just yesterday, the last one has died. Now we want to live our own life. Enough thinking about children. It is not a question when that great moment of transformation will come in your life. It can come this very moment. The whole existence is ready except you. You go on finding excuses. And then you become so expert in finding excuses that it becomes almost impossible for life, love, beauty, existence to penetrate you. You see, and yet you don't see. It is all around. It touches you, it comes with the wind, but it does not enter you. Your doors, your windows are closed. This has nothing to do with your question. I am as irrelevant as the existence. What is the point of a rose flower? Or what is the point of a deer or an elephant? Was God thinking of a circus? Elephants and camels, these are all jokes. Paddy nearly has an accident at work, and he is so shocked that he decides to become a reformed Christian. He tells Maureen that he is going to give up sex for a month. With only a few days to go before the end of the month, Paddy and Maureen are shopping together in the local supermarket. Maureen leans over a tray of apples, and Paddy gets a good taste at her chest and nearly goes mad. A few minutes later, Paddy sees her thigh and her dress and gets tangled in another customer's shopping cart. In the confusion, he loses all control of himself, forgetting his vow of celibacy for 1 month completely and totally. A few days later, Paddy goes to confession and tells Father Murphy that he has broken his vow. The priest tries to console him, saying that after all the days and nights of his great effort, God and the church would forgive him. I am not worried about God and the church, replies Paddy, but Maureen and I feel terrible because they won't let us back in the supermarket.